Oh, there's Kara. Me. Oh, hello, and welcome to On Location Dawson Creek. I'm your host with the most, the host that makes you want to turn on the program whenever you see my mug. I'm Grady McTavish, and sitting across from me is Cara Funk. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Thank you so much for coming onto the program.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. Now you're probably asking, why am I dressed like this?
It is a little odd.
It is a little odd.
It is, yeah.
Kind of in a library, also in a library sense, it's kind of odd, or just in a general sense.
I'm just wrapping my head around, what the purpose is.
Okay, so I actually watched one of your productions, Beauty and the Beast, that you put on, the junior version. It was excellent, and it inspired me. I want to be an actor too.
Really?
Yes, and I would like to audition for one of your junior plays.
Oh, the junior plays where the kids are about like 5 years old to 15, those ones?
Yes. Is that an issue?
Well, you look close to that age.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
But not quite.
Oh.
Yeah, it's for children.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. No way to navigate that. No way for me to be like. I mean, I look like height-wise, I'm like a 15-year-old.
Right.
I'm what's known as a short king.
Yes.
Yes.
And maybe there could be some modifications.
I think that's a great idea.
I will think about some serious compromises.
Oh, thank you
Yes.
so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And now we're talking about serious compromises, and we're talking about your plays. I want to know more about you as your future star. I would like to know more about you.
You have so much confidence,
Yes.
and that makes a big difference
That
when
makes a
an
big
actor
difference.
really feels that they're going to go somewhere.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm happy to hear that. Yes.
So let's talk a little bit more about these, productions that I was talking about. So you've done, is it a total of 3 so far, junior-wise?
Yes, we have done 7 over the years, but we've done 3 that are kind of more of a major production.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So you did Peter Pan, and then you did Honk Jr.,
Yes.
and then you did Beauty and the Beast.
Right.
So as I said before, like you mentioned they're from 5 to 15, and these children performers, these kids, like they are so wonderful to watch, and you're never taken out from it. You're always just invested in their performances. What's it like to work with them?
I would say it's really exceeded my expectations, actually, because sometimes you think that when you work with children that they might not be able to do as well as adults or have the maturity or have the passion. But what I have found is that when you have a group of kids that are there because they want to be there, then it doesn't feel like work to them, and so they're all in. And children don't have the inhibitions that adults have, so you can say to them, I want you to try and embody this, and they will just do it immediately.
Right.
And when they see each other doing that, it kind of has this contagious effect, and
Right.
then they all start doing it. And so even just warm-ups and things like that, they're all in. You put on a song, let's just see what it's like to dance to this song, and everybody's dancing. And so there's so much passion, and it's very contagious. And so and then the way they begin to lean on each other and start to kind of build trust and community, I've noticed over time, they when they're acting, if one of them is forgetting, they're running up to each other and whispering, a line to each other, or they're really they start stepping in. And it's kind of similar to a sports team in that sense, right, where you start realizing you can't do anything unless you're actually helping each other, and so you just start seeing that connectivity.
Right.
Yeah. So it's been incredible working with them, and also working with a lot of the same ones over time.
Yeah.
And so then you don't have to go over the basics anymore after a couple of years. They already know they never turn their back to the audience.
Right.
They already know that, they have to project. And so those things start becoming second nature to them. So that's made a big difference too. So I've got 5-year-olds that started, and they're 7, and they're already doing things that kids in high school are learning sometimes. So yeah, that really has been awesome to get to start so young.
And that's so interesting too, because I heard this really interesting quote, and I'm going to butcher it because I'm forgetting it right now, but a lot of art is about empathy and curiosity. And with kids, when they're so young, they're thinking, you know, me, right? Because they haven't developed those skills yet. But with theater and working together, they're kind of developing those skills. Do you find that to be the case almost? Like they're developing the skills of like thinking outside of themselves. Like if someone forgets a line, they're gonna like, oh, I'm gonna go help.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, do you think that adds to that?
I do. And we spend a lot of time talking about what it would be like to be those characters.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's actually kind of, I think, helps with their empathy to really identify with what it would feel like when you're rejected in the scene.
Yeah.
You know, and then they talk that through, and then they start sharing that, and I think they actually feel it sometimes, you know. So yeah, I think it teaches that, and also, like we were saying before, you know, when you have to actually work together because things go wrong, and then you see each other fail sometimes, and then I often have noticed, because that failure, quote unquote, that moment when you forget something or you sing off key or whatever it is that's happening in that moment, when the kids around you all start cheering and saying it's okay, you realize that in every part of life that you can fail and rise again, and then you develop a different resilience and realize that it's actually okay to not do everything perfectly, like to move through it and then become stronger. So
it's kind of like, it's like almost like reestablishing the relationship with failure, almost in a sense, and like making it healthy.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, because that is part of being human.
Yeah.
And if children can learn that that is normal, then as an adult, I think that they will be the ones that will be helping the people around them, saying this is normal, it's okay to fail, like this is just part of who we are, and this is how we grow, and growth is good.
Well, growth is good, right?
Yeah.
And all of them, or a majority of them, are homeschooled?
Yes.
Yeah?
We have a couple from public school that are really passionate about theater, so we get permission from their teachers.
Yeah.
But yeah, about 95% are homeschoolers. Yeah.
And do you co-direct with your sister?
Yes.
Yes, Allie?
Yeah. Allie.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what's that like, the process of not only working with these wonderful youngsters, but like also co-directing with your sibling, with your sister? Like, what is that like? Because, you know, anyone who's done theater, done film, or any sort of acting thing knows it's intensely collaborative. And when you have someone, with my sister, she's my best friend.
Yeah.
And I have a shorthand with her. Do you find you have a shorthand with your sister and that helps co-directing?
Yes. She and I are also best friends,
Yeah,
and so and we have kind of that ability to make eye contact and see, can you go do that right now, and I'll do this right now. So there's a lot of that tag teaming that just happens naturally.
Right.
And then even just after each practice, after each rehearsal, being able to call each other on the phone and say, what did you see? What did you see? And so you just back and forth, you work together, and then you can compliment each other, because she's better at some things than I am.
Right.
She's really good at perceiving in the moment exactly what just didn't happen in the scene, and just running over and letting those kids know, try this, you know, and then there's other things that I bring. So yeah, it's actually been a blast. We both have been really passionate about acting always, and so we never dreamed that we would get to direct together, but here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, we've done it separately at schools and churches and other places, but we've never gotten to do it together. So and with our own kids as well, so that's pretty cool.
I know, isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And how did you guys get involved with, or rather, where did you find that passion for acting? Where did that start for you, at least?
I feel like I've always come alive in a specific way on the stage, and so it probably started at my church growing up, where we would do little skits and things like that. And that audience was so gracious, like they were just always for you, and so you start feeling like, I have something to offer. And then actually I was homeschooled myself, and so in high school we started doing some productions as well, and then I started realizing, yeah, there's just something here that comes alive. I can't get enough of it. And so, yeah, so then I just did it as much as I could in high school as well.
And then you went to Oxford.
I did.
You studied, I do research.
You know all the things, yeah.
You went to Oxford to study acting and English literature, is that correct?
Yes.
And what was that like, having that, And where did you grow up? Sorry, I forgot to ask.
So I'm from the east coast of Canada.
Yeah.
So I'm from southern New Brunswick,
Oh,
Grand
wow.
Bay, Westfield.
Yeah.
And but when I went to Oxford, it was through the Crandall University in New Brunswick, and,
Oh, wow.
and they had an exchange program. And so
Wow.
there was about 20 of us that went over there. And yeah, we actually, it was really unique and empowering to be in towns where, Shakespeare grew up, to see his home,
Yes.
and to watch show after show and just feel that different connection to all of those actors and playwrights. And so then we did a production of the Shakespeare story Love's Labour's Lost.
Oh,
and
perfect.
so I was Rosalind, and we actually put that together in a church in the quaint town of Charlesbury.
Wow.
And we just transformed the whole church. It was, of course, like a small rustic little church, and we just made the whole thing into at the setting of a Shakespeare story.
That's so
And
cool.
we were climbing ladders and doing all sorts of things, and everyone sat around the outside, and then we got to do it in the middle. And I'll
That's
never forget
amazing.
that experience. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was incredible. And we crammed everything into like a 6-week period, learned hundreds of lines, and just went at it, and it was a blast. Chaotic blast, but it was something so memorable.
Isn't that the best though, when art is like a chaotic blast? You know, like you want things to be structured and you want things to be, organized, but it's like having like just a little bit of chaos. It's like that special sauce, right? Do you agree?
Yes. It draws everyone together too,
Yes.
right? Because it's not perfect. It's like beautiful, but it's messy.
Yeah.
And so you're all rubbing shoulders, and you're just trying to do this thing together,
Yeah.
and you never forget it. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
so cool. And then, what did you learn from there? Like, what kind of either skills or knowledge or even just experience, putting on a play like that in Oxford, in England? What kind of skills did you kind of take away from that experience and studying there?
One of the things I think I learned was we had a professor there that was teaching us, like was actually directing us through that production.
Yeah.
And she had a way of always teaching us about those who had come before. And so
Yeah.
she was so well learned, and she had studied so much that she was able to say, when this person acts, this is exactly what they try. And so just getting to learn from so many that I had never even heard of before,
Right.
that was really enriching. And even just getting to go to some of the libraries there and
Yes.
pick up books from hundreds of years ago just has a different feeling.
It really does.
And then also, I think when you're called to a higher standard than you think is possible for yourself, you will rise if you're given the ladder rungs to
Yes.
that standard. And that was something that I learned even myself when she said, we're going to do this in a few weeks, and you have hundreds of lines. And I thought, there's no way that I can learn that many lines of Shakespeare in that amount of time.
Yes.
And yet I did, and it takes often somebody saying, you've got this, and this is how. And so now I feel like, as a director,
Yeah.
that gave me a little bit of insight into how to help children do that as well.
Right.
And just saying to them, yes, they're usually, young children don't do Broadway productions, right? And yet I believe you can, and this is how I think we can do this if
Right.
you want to. So yeah, I think that helped me just realize what children could be capable of, and teenagers as well, and wanting to empower them in the way that I was.
Right.
Yeah.
And sort of like almost give them the confidence to, kind of a cheesy line, but to kind of realize the impossible, like learning all those lines of Shakespeare in that short amount of time. It's like giving you the confidence to be like, go out and achieve something great, And it's sort of that idea of raising yourself to a standard you didn't even think was possible is so interesting to me. I went to film school in Vancouver, and I felt the same way. My productions were with my buddies, and then I went down there, and I had no idea I could elevate it to such a way. And it just gives you a confidence, and you feel like you just take on the world. Did you feel that
Yes.
in kind of a way?
Yes. And I always thought that I would enjoy acting myself more than teaching children or directing. But now I have noticed that I
switched?
enjoy it even more,
Wow.
because of seeing these kids come from this place to this place. There is nothing greater in my mind than realizing the light has just gone in their eyes and they realize what they're capable of. And it almost like makes me cry. Yeah. And so, yeah, it's neat too as you grow up into adulthood and then start to realize, wow, this is igniting a passion as well, you know, like, and it looks different than I thought it would. I thought it would be always wanting to act myself. And now it's about working with the next generation. So.
Right. It's almost like, it's like I just want to help and encourage and motivate and lift almost in a way, right?
And then see, you know, I feel like they blow me away a lot too. Like, I think this is what they could do, and then they take it to another level. You know? Like,
100%.
Yeah.
And I think that's the skill of a great teacher, but also a great director, right? When you see something in someone and you're like, I can see you going here, and then you're just figuring out how to get them there. Because you know you can get them there, right? You can tell.
Yeah, and it can be scary, like it can be risky, you know, to shoot for the stars and say, this is what we think you can do, and you don't always know 100% if they can, right? But it's worth it to try, I've realized.
100%. Yeah. 100%. And with that being said, we were talking a bit off camera about adults versus the children, like a child's mindset when it comes to acting or trying something new. I remember, I think it was Pablo Picasso, he said, it took me 50 years to get back to painting like a child. And it's almost like you, being a child, you're so open to new experiences. And like you said, you're like, I'm going to go try this. I'm going to go try this. As an adult, you have certain experiences, or you have certain fears that kind of stop you. It's almost like you feel like you should go back to almost a childlike mindset of being like, I'm going to try this, and then if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, right? And they don't really care about failure. I mean, they kind of do, but it's almost like they feel this sort of inhibited joy to try. And do you find that to be the case?
I do. I do. It's like they don't have any inhibitions.
Yes.
Right? So there's no blockage. They're not thinking first. They're able to just move into it. Most of them, you know. And it's a freedom that they move with. And it's I think that's why we all talk about, like, how can we get back to that childlike wonder, right? Because we see how we move away from it, and there's something about that that's so inviting to live that free, that unencumbered. Yeah, I definitely see it in them. And even if you do something like a meditation or something with kids, you know, and I remember doing one with these children a couple weeks ago, and they were invited to say something, and I was kind of expecting everyone to just say it inside, and all of them were calling out this positive affirmation loudly over and over, and it was the most powerful thing to hear, you know, 18 kids just calling out something positive about themselves. And I realized, oh, they didn't think that through, like, do I feel okay to do this? They just felt invited to do it, and they did it. And there's something so beautiful about that.
Yeah, there really is. And what do you feel about the phrase, you hear it often these days, but it's been around for a while, quote-unquote kids these days. How do you feel about that phrase?
I am not a fan of that phrase.
Right.
Yeah. Children are children are children, you know, and they often are underestimated, but the same children that love to learn and love to shoot for the stars and all of that, you know, of 100 years ago, of 200, they're the same way today, and they're still capable of just as much as they ever were.
Right.
And even if they have different struggles today, there's always been struggles, you know, there's always been pain, there's always been distractions. I mean, today, yes, there is social media, yes, there are lots of traumas, lots of things, but every child has just as much love to give, just as much passion to give, as they are just as gifted as they ever were. And I, as a teacher, when I take a group of kids, it doesn't matter if it was, 20 years ago when I started as a teacher or today, if you are willing to build a relationship with them and they see you are for me, they will do anything for you,
Right.
and I have not found that they are different. I have found that all children are delightful and
Right.
are filled with goodness, and there's so much that they're capable of,
Right.
as much as ever before.
And you speak with such passion and love for teaching and teaching youth. How did you get involved in that?
I I grew up working with young people even when I was a kid myself.
Oh,
I
really?
was already, helping. I remember teaching when I was 13,
Yeah.
so that's always been, I guess, part of who I am.
Yeah.
And and then so then I decided I would become a teacher from a young age too. And so yeah, I've had lots of chances to teach in classrooms and then coaching and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think probably my favorite thing to do is run outdoor education programs and get to work in nature, because that's something else I've noticed is that there's a lot of teachers that will say, I'm afraid to take kids outside because there's just so many unknowns.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's easier to take kids outside because they're able to be free and they're able to come alive in a new way, and you're
Yeah.
not really I don't find I'm dealing with behaviors at that point. I feel that they're fully immersed in all their senses,
Right.
and that they're so happy to be there. So yeah, anyway, yeah, I love teaching.
Yeah,
I
for
love
sure.
being with kids. Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And
Yeah.
talking about outdoor ed and what you're seeing, like them being kind of invested, it's like, um, again, it goes back to like curiosity. They just have innate curiosity about the whole world, especially children, right? Like, and young kids who just want to know everything,
Yes.
and then that's so infectious, right? Do you find that to be the case as well, that infectious energy?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. And also, it's neat how when they start interacting with things out in nature, even the ones who don't usually ask questions start asking questions
Right.
because they're filled with the wonder of it.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's so tactile, and I do feel like every child loves to learn.
Yeah.
And if they don't love to learn, or they say, I hate school, or I don't want to do this subject, that it just means that the light has gone out in their eyes around learning, because it's been done in a way that is not engaging to them. But there are so many ways that learning can be engaging, and I feel like everyone actually loves to learn, and even adults. Like we
Yeah.
all there's an aspect to learning. We're all interested in something.
Right.
It's finding what those things are.
It's finding what those things are,
Yeah.
and I know a lot of my friends who hated school, but out when they graduated, they're constantly learning things.
Researching.
And they're researching.
What they love.
And
Yeah.
they love learning what they love, right? And I think everyone innately loves learning.
Yes.
It's just, when you hear school as a kid, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's like a job,
Yeah.
And there has like a certain connotation to that,
Yes. Yeah.
And it's really interesting.
Yeah, and I'm not against, the school system or
No.
anything. I just feel that teachers have their hands tied in many, many ways.
Yeah.
And anytime you have a system, there's a lot of flaws with the system, right?
Right.
Because if you have a group of 25 kids and you're teaching something and everyone's engaged, but then the bell rings in a system, you have to go to the next class because that's how it's organized.
Right.
Even when there's 5 of them that needed a couple more hours to continue to follow that passion. And you don't
Right.
want to shut that down, but it's a system. So
Right.
that's where a lot of my passion for homeschooling comes around, is just that they get to spend as much time as they want focusing on the things that they're passionate about and working towards that for the long-term goals of whatever they're heading toward.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
And then, so you, going back to what we were talking about, you study acting and English literature in Oxford. And then how did you make your way to Dawson Creek?
I came here to teach. There weren't teaching jobs available on the East Coast when I graduated from university. So I found a classroom here in Dawson Creek and got a full-time job. So I was excited right out of college and got to jump into a classroom of grade 3 to 5 kids. And
I love that. Yeah.
took off. And we were, we had a lot of adventures that year. I learned a lot that year. And it was great. So that's kind of how I ended up on this side of the coast, and then this side of the country. and then I've actually been here ever since. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And when did you get involved in homeschooling and that
so
process?
then when I had my own boys, I started thinking about what could be if we I kind of started doing a lot of learning outdoor activities with them in preschool. And we would gather with a bunch of other families, and we would just create scenarios and go out and learn together. And we just had a blast. And I thought when my son was 4, turning 5, I want to keep doing this. I want to feed this interest, you know? So then, just started homeschooling at that point. And there were a couple hundred families in Dawson, so it was really easy to find other people to connect with and do field trips and get together every week and learn together. And so it just kind of took off from there.
Wow. And then, so I would imagine putting together a curriculum or what they're going to learn is similar to the public education system, or is there a difference?
Yeah, there are similarities. I would say the difference is probably just that parents look at all the curriculum options and then they try to tailor it to the learning style of their own kid, because you're only having to do that for your kid instead of a whole class. So some forms of education, like some curriculums, are more hands-on. Some are more kinesthetic, some are more workbook style. So you kind of look at your kid and say, I wonder how they're going to enjoy learning the most, and then you pick curriculum based on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, like you said, it's tailored to each student. In a way. And so that kind of, again, fuels that love of learning, because it's designed almost for them.
Yes.
For each individual child.
So having boys that just love to move, I found a program, for example, called Wild Math. And so it was based around, you're learning how to count by jumping on the rocks. So you're counting by 2s, and you're gathering the shavings from the lawnmower, and you're building the perimeter of a house or something. And so you're learning the math concepts, but you're doing it in a engaging, hands-on kind of way. And it's really easy when you're in your own yard to just go out and do those things. You don't have to sign forms for field trips and get permission, whatever. You just go do it. Or you grab some other families and say, let's go to this park and do this morning. So that kind of freedom made it makes it easier to do those kind of things.
You're right. And really connect with them, and connect with them on a way that makes the learning kind of easier. Is that
and there's so much more one-on-one because it's just a small group, right? It's you and them. So as they're having these responses, you're feeding into those responses back and forth. They're not sitting with their hand up for a long time. So you're in the moment with them, being so present, and then you're also moving through things a lot faster. So then you're done a lot faster. So you're only needing to spend an hour or 2 working through those things, and then they can learn through free play after that. I mean, this is more when they're younger, but even now we don't need to spend the same amount of time that you would at school, because it just moves faster. They're in middle school now. So.
And how many kids do you teach at a time?
When I homeschool my own kids, I have 2 boys, and then I also sometimes homeschool another girl as well who comes over.
Okay, sweet.
Just small group.
Excellent. Just small groups and whatnot.
Yeah.
And you also work at the Kids Cafe?
I did, yes.
Okay.
I took on a job for Traditional Learning Academy recently, so that's where I'm putting a lot of my time now.
Oh, yeah, cool.
So I oversee homeschool families now, and their home teacher. So then I get to be a part of just helping support them with resources and writing up report cards and things like that.
And then what's that change been like from going kind of hands-on to more overseeing it? How is that kind of?
It's been awesome, because I really love to get to meet with families and kind of see what they're up to, and then get to offer them ideas and resources and just support them and come along for the journey. So it's been the perfect position. I just love it.
Right.
There's a few of us in Dawson Creek now that work
really?
for Traditional Learning Academy. So
That's
yeah.
awesome.
So they supported the Beauty and the Beast play as well, and
Yeah.
kind of came under it. And so, most of the families that were in the play homeschool through Traditional Learning Academy as well. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that it's not just those 3 plays that you had done, but you also done plays beforehand.
Yeah. Yeah.
When did that sort of idea come into being like, I could work with these kids and develop this into, a play, or they could work on a play? When did that idea, how did that idea happen, and where did
Right.
it kind of come from?
I think probably when my children were 3 and 5,
Yeah.
my mother-in-law actually said, I would like to do the Little Red Hen with a little group. And so she kind of got that going,
Right.
and we just couldn't believe what they were capable of. They were 2, 3, 4, and 5,
Oh,
and
wow.
6-year-olds. Yeah, and they
really
did
young.
this musical.
Yeah.
And it was just, it not only developed them skill-wise for singing and acting, but it developed community. That you're right, and so the connections are happening. And so then we did the Stone Soup musical the next year, and we moved from doing that, like as a small group and having 50 people come out, to now we've got a few hundred people coming out, and we're moving to a stage, and so it just kind of started to build, and the excitement started to grow, and people
Right.
started to realize what they were capable of, and so it
Right.
just kind of kept going from there. But one thing I find too about the homeschool families is that, well, 2 things actually. One is that because the kids are often working away at home, like in the morning, say, and they're doing their different activities, they are so excited to bring the social energy to the drama practice.
Right.
So they show up and they are all in, and they have the attention span to be all in, because they don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
Because it's not just, oh, it's my 4th class of the day and I have to do it.
Right.
They're coming because they want to do it. So as a teacher, it's kind of ideal, because they all show up and they're just ready to absorb anything you want to tell them,
Right.
So that there's a lot of positivity in that way. They're not
Yeah.
just coming and, they're
like
already
excitement.
tired or whatever. Yeah. And then the other thing is that because I find a lot of homeschool parents really love to be with their kids. It's
Yeah.
just, that's part of the reason they're doing it. They love being with their kids. So then they say, how can I be involved in this? So you have this massive team of
Yeah.
parents that are all saying like, well, I can sew, I'm gonna sew over here, let's have a sewing party. And I can, I'll build some set, let's paint, or I'll just help work with the kids, but they enjoy being there and just being a part. And I feel like that's such an advantage to have
Yeah.
so many people offering their strengths as adults and just teaming up. So it's an all age kind of
Yeah.
experience too.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's like sort of like community building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It really
does.
is.
It does build a community, and we've had a lot of kids in tears the last couple weeks, just being sad that they're not.
Oh no.
Well, and I mean, they're just saying, "What are we going to do now?" Like, can we do another drama right away? So
Yeah.
now we're starting to do pickleball park dates, but yeah,
They want
But
to still be in
they
that.
just want to be together. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've developed real deep friendships.
Yeah. Which will no doubt continue, because I would imagine you guys are going to continue doing.
We are,
Yeah?
yes, yeah. So everyone's asking, what's the next play? And we'll decide probably in the next month or 2.
Right. Isn't that fun when you're
Yeah.
like, you just put your all into a show or into
Yeah.
a project, and then you're like, okay. All right, okay, what's the next one?
Yeah,
And you're like,
yeah.
just give me a second.
No, they literally were asking, like, at the rehearsals of Beauty and the Beast, what are we doing next?
You're like, just give me a
So,
second.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good. Yeah.
And what have you found that the kids have enjoyed the most about that process of working together and putting on something together?
I think as they get more and more comfortable together, it's those real, authentic friendships that they're developing. It's
Yeah.
that feeling that I'm actually part of a village.
Yeah.
And so they show up and everyone's excited to have them there.
Yeah.
And so that feeling of belonging is really huge, even more than anything else, I think, is that they feel I have something to offer in this place, and it's safe, and I'm coming alive here,
Yeah.
and I have people. Yeah, I have these amazing friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's that community aspect, I think.
Really,
Yeah.
it truly is.
Yeah.
And how does it feel for you, not only as their instructor for acting, but also a co-director and directing them and bringing them into this? How does it feel to? You are probably their first introduction to acting. and probably, I would imagine within that group, you've probably introduced the passion of acting, and you've probably ignited the bug and the spark. How does that feel for you, knowing that you're probably doing that?
Oh, it's a dream come true,
Yeah.
especially so many boys.
Yeah.
That it's really neat to think back on. Even we did a production called The Christmas Carol a couple of years ago, and that one was directed by Wendy Lavisser, and so I just came in to do choreo for one particular song, and it was a group of 17 boys, and they're looking at me like, we're going to dance together, like what, we're going to sing and dance together. And for many of them, that was the first time, and they didn't know what it would feel like. And then I remember the first couple times they started to do the song and they were sweating, and they were like, this is actually a lot of exercise. Like, they had no idea, right? And then they started to smile, and then they started to pat each other on the back, and that was awesome, you know, and it started to take off inside of them. And then they realized there's something here that I didn't even know was here, you know? And so seeing that in the boys and the girls, but for me, it's been exciting to see, because sometimes in our culture, boys don't even know that they can sing or act or dance, and how much fun it is, and how good it is for your whole soul to like tap into that side. So
get over that barrier of like that thinking, right?
There's a stigma, right? And so I remember my son this year at hockey. He and one of the other guys in the play, they were singing one of the songs, and then some of the other guys said, like, what are you singing, you know? And then they said, we're singing a song from this musical. Why are you in that? And they're, well, because it's fun, you know, and they're just, so then some of those guys from the hockey team came to watch the musical, and then after, that was better than I thought. But it's that exposure, right? Like they aren't always exposed to what it could be. So it excites me to see, you know, that now they know what it is. And once you know, you can never like turn back from that, right? It's just in you to do and to give. And I'm excited to see how that comes out over the years, like for all of them, you know?
100%.
Even if it's just dancing with their own kids in their living room, or singing around a campfire. There's so many ways that it can come out, but it's important for that to have a voice too. Yeah.
It like opens a whole
that expression.
Open new can of worms in a whole new world.
Yes.
In a way. Well, this has been just an absolute treat to talk to you. Thank you so much for everything you do for a community of Dawson, and for, you know, the future generation, and the positivity you're putting out there. It truly means a lot. The team is born and raised, and we're always so happy to see such wonderful people do wonderful things in our community, so thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for all these amazing questions and taking an interest in all of this too.
Of course.
Yeah.
Lead role?
I'll think about it. Yeah.
That's a yes in my books.
Okay. I would love to have you come along. We'll see how long the kids think that you're their age.
Yeah. It'll take them about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
They're like, I see your hairline.
Right.
But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for watching On Location Dawson Creek. Would you like to be a part of the show? Make sure you scan the QR code, fill out the form, and you too can hop on and share your story as well. Thank you again for coming onto the program. I really appreciate your time. And thank you for watching. Be kind and love one another. Have a great day. Yeah, I think I can act. I think I can act with the kids. I think I can.
Oh, man. That would be so...